Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news is occurring right now in Roseville, where one person is dead after a hit-and-run crash involving 2 larceny suspects. The crash happened at the intersection of Kelly Road and Masonic. That is where our Jermont Terry is right now. And Jermont, police say this all started in Fraser.
You're exactly right, Karen. Yes, police say 2 people stole some items from the DPW yard in Fraser, and they jumped into this Jeep Cherokee that you see off in the distance. And as you mentioned, they were trying to get away when they slammed right into this gray Chevy SUV with 3 people inside. You can see it slammed right into the driver's side. Let's show you some other video. Now, this all went down, as you mentioned, at the very busy intersection of Masonic and Kelly. Police stressing they were not chasing the Jeep Cherokee, but the 2 men in that Jeep were trying to avoid getting caught. Now, that's when the second vehicle was sideswiped. The impact killed 1 passenger instantly on scene and sent the driver and the second person in that vehicle to the hospital with serious and critical injuries. The men who caused this accident jumped out of the Jeep Cherokee running several blocks. Now, I had the chance to catch up with one neighbor who saw police arresting one of the men.
Well, actually, I was going to pick my son up from school, and as I was going to pick my son up from school, there was a whole bunch of commotion down at the end of my street. I couldn't get out. There was about 19 cop cars, police detectives, officers, and then there was a guy on the ground with guns drawn on the guy.
And now that took place about 2 blocks here from Masonic and Kelly on Bittersweet Street. Now, right now, police are still looking for that second person that was inside this Jeep involved in this larceny and or theft from the DPW yard in Fraser. But again, the breaking news here, you can see that police here in Roseville are dealing with a deadly hit and run. 1 person dead, 2 people seriously injured, and they're trying to find the second person that took off running. We'll stay on top of this breaking news update and have an update coming up on Local 4 News at 5. For now, reporting live with breaking news, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
All right, we'll check back with you in a little bit, Jermont. Now to our other breaking story at this hour. Just minutes ago, President Trump announced his decision on the Paris Climate Agreement. Speaking from the Rose Garden, the president announced the U.S. will withdraw from the Paris Accord. Our Jason Colthorpe has been following the president's announcement from the newsroom and joins us now with some of those specific details. Jason.
Yeah, Karen, it had been rumored for days, and just about 25 minutes ago now, President Trump made it official. The U.S. will be withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement.
In order to fulfill my solemn duty to protect America and its citizens, the United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
The president says the U.S. will immediately cease all implementation of the Paris Climate Accord and the change standards that go with that. The agreement was signed in 2015 by nearly 200 nations to curb greenhouse gas emissions. The president says his decision was easy, though, because the deal, he believes, hurts American companies and workers.
The Paris Climate Accord is simply the latest example of Washington entering into an agreement that disadvantages the United States to the exclusive benefit of other countries, leaving American workers, who I love, and taxpayers to absorb the cost in terms of lost jobs, lower wages, shuttered factories, and vastly diminished economic production.
Now, this may not be the last we hear of it. The president went on to say he will renegotiate the Paris Accord on terms fair to the U.S., or he will negotiate a totally new deal. Former President Obama has already weighed in on this decision, saying the administration is joining a small handful of nations that reject the future. Karen, there's sure to be more reaction to come, and we'll have it all for you coming up on Local 4 News at 5.
All right. Thank you very much, Jason. Meantime, the president started today's news conference saying the White House is monitoring this situation in the Philippines. Witnesses say there have been gunshots and explosions at a big casino and hotel complex in Manila. The incident comes during a 10-day siege by Muslim militants in the southern Philippines. Details are still coming in, and of course, we'll keep you posted as we learn more. Mark June 8th on your calendar as a big day in the ongoing Russia investigation in Congress. That is when former FBI Director James Comey is set to testify before the Senate about Russian activities during the 2016 election. No doubt he'll also face questions about whether President Trump tried to get him to back off that investigation. President Trump fired Comey last month. Also first at 4, the murder case against a Detroit man has been dismissed after he spent 25 years in prison. 51-year-old Desmond Ricks was convicted of murder in a 1992 fatal shooting. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office announced that it will not retry Ricks during a pretrial conference today. The dismissal comes after a recent reanalysis of evidence found that the 2 bullets recovered from the scene back in 1992 did not connect to the gun that was presented as Ricks' murder weapon. All charges against Ricks were vacated. We're also tracking a disturbing case out of Trenton at this hour. 2 sons charged with homicide and the murder of their mother. Marshawn Lay was there right after the men were taken into custody.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is an absolutely shocking and sad case. Only Local 4 cameras are here today in Trenton to capture this. Trenton police picking up and arresting 2 brothers who are well known in this area. Grant Ballo, he's 33, and his brother Gabe, he's 31. Both are charged with the shocking death of their own mother, Vicky. She was only 58 years old. Police are saying today that her death is a direct result of her son's gross negligence and the failure of them to properly care for her and seek medical attention for her. Both of them appearing in court late this afternoon.
Well, it's a tragedy. It's not only a tragedy for the community, it's a tragedy for the family.
Our camera is also in court late this afternoon to hear some of the shocking details of this case and what these brothers are accused of not doing to help their mother. We'll have much more coming up on Local 4 when that starts at 5 o'clock.
All right, thank you very much, Sean. We'll be checking back with you. Meantime, let's move over to Westland. That's where a broken water valve is sending water dozens of feet into the air out of a manhole. This is the scene. We're told a Wayne County contractor damaged a water valve in the area of Cherry Hill and Wayne Road. Traffic is down to 1 lane on each road, but the intersection is open to traffic. The Great Lakes Water Authority is working to repair that valve. In the meantime, water pressure in the area may be a little lower than normal. In today's first forecast, we are enjoying one of those perfect Michigan days. And Ben, it looks like we've got a great evening ahead as well.
Yeah, that video is about the only water you're going to see today. We've got not only dry skies, but we've got fewer clouds than what we saw yesterday. Temperatures beautiful out there. Low to mid 70s. The winds are lighter, too, than what we were looking at yesterday. So we'll stay seasonably cool tonight, mostly clear, mainly dry tomorrow. There's a little caveat with that. And showers and storms do return to the weekend. But there's some timing changes we'll need to discuss, and that's all coming up in a few minutes. Karen?
Thank you, Ben. When teenagers get out of school, many of them are hitting the road during the summer, going to work, going to the beach. AAA calls the time between Memorial Day and Labor Day the 100 deadliest days for teens. Our Coco McAvoy takes a look at their most dangerous challenges and how you can help them stay safe.
With summer approaching, there's always a lot of teen drivers on the road, and it's always tough for parents to hand over the keys to their teenagers. But now a new AAA report says 16 and 17-year-olds are 3 times more likely to get into a deadly crash than any other driver on the road. So it's important parents are aware. Just a second of inattention can lead to tragedy. That's one of the messages AAA is hoping will linger in the minds of parents and teens as we enter what they call the 100 deadliest days. It's the time between Memorial Day and Labor Day when the number of deadly teen car accidents skyrockets.
We often see a spike of about 15% of deadly teen crashes during the summer months.
That's because more new and inexperienced teen drivers are out of school and hitting the already crowded roadways.
If a teen were to speed or be distracted, they could get in a situation that they don't know how to handle, and it could definitely have some deadly consequences.
AAA says speed, seatbelts, and distractions are the 3 most common factors in deadly teen car accidents. And those distractions may not be strictly gadgets.
And when we looked at what types of distraction, we found that the first cause of distraction for a teen driver was a passenger, and the second was a cell phone.
And they say parents are on the front lines when it comes to keeping teen drivers safe.
I would encourage them to have conversations early and often, and to always set a good example when behind the wheel.
AAA says 60% of the crashes involving teen drivers are caused by distracted driving. So it's very important that parents talk to their teenagers before they hit the roads this summer. I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
Still to come, there's a new list of the best cars for older drivers. And find out why actress Jennifer Garner is not happy with People magazine. Up first, new hacking troubles for Kmart, what the retailer is saying about customer information, and what all of you should be doing to protect your accounts. We'll be right back.
Dream home.
To get up to 100% flake-free and unbelievably beautiful hair, it's not Head & Shoulders, it's the new Head & Shoulders.
Coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
So it was almost 2 weeks ago now that the Motor City Makeover Weekend put piles of branches like this on the side of Detroit City streets. And the city's supposed to come and pick this up, right? Well, here it sits. So what's going on? We're looking for answers, and we'll have them for you on Local 4 News at 5.
All right, we look forward to that. Thank you, Rod. In today's Help Me Hank Consumer Alert, a major retailer is talking about a data breach. This time, Kmart has become the victim of hackers for the second time in just 3 years. Parent company Sears Holding Corporation says it noticed unauthorized credit card activity. Sears says it has launched an investigation and taken steps to secure the network. It believes some customer credit card numbers may have been compromised, but says its new chip card readers should limit the risk of counterfeiters. The company says no other personal information was stolen. As always, you should monitor your accounts for any suspicious charges. Consumer Reports has come up with a list of the best vehicles for older drivers. It's a booming part of the driving population. Among the cars getting high marks, the Subaru Outback, Kia Sportage, Ford Escape, and Nissan Rogue. They were judged on a variety of factors like front seat access, visibility, and controls that are easy to read. We've posted a link to more information on the Help Me Hank page at clickondetroit.com. Well, Ben is back and really just filled with some pretty good news, right, for tonight.
It just gets better and better.
We've got like soccer practices or baseball or whatever. It's a nice night to go out and enjoy it.
That's true. And if you didn't get enough grilling out over the weekend, you could probably
never get enough grilling.
That's true. Yeah. Beautiful night tonight. And yeah, down at the Campus Martius Beach, a lot of folks enjoying the sand and the sun with temperatures very similar to what we saw yesterday. 74 outside with a west-northwest wind at 9 miles an hour. The gusts are out there, but they're not quite as brisk as what we were seeing yesterday. And there is a little bit of a disturbance coming out of the northwest. It's affecting part of the state, but it is staying well to our north. In fact, it looks like those clouds are cutting off right about Huron County. The showers are going to stay away from us tonight and for most of us tomorrow as well, but there's going to be another disturbance. It's almost going to run in that same pattern just a little further south. And you can see it moving in there, just a slight chance of a light sprinkle, mainly as we get into the mid-afternoon hours, but there will be an increase in clouds probably for our north zone and maybe for the northern part of our metro zone tomorrow. High pressure does settle in Friday evening, so it's going to take care of any of those showers pretty quickly. And then we will stay dry Saturday. Timing change for those thunderstorms on Sunday. It looks like it's going to be overnight into the early morning hours of Sunday. So even before the sun comes up, could see some thunderstorms. Those will linger into about the mid-morning hours, and then a cold front comes through, and we should remain dry as we finish out the second half of Sunday. So low temperatures tonight, still going to be in a pretty wide range with those mostly clear skies out there. Warmest spots will be in our metro zone at 54 in the city, 53 at the airport. South zone temperatures will be a lot of 50s until you get out into Lenawee County, and that's where the upper 40s start to take hold. West zone lows tonight anywhere between 49 in Flint and 51 down in Canton. And north of M59, we're looking at mainly upper 40s to low 50s with those warmer temperatures being down there in Monroe, or Macomb rather, and Oakland counties. Highs slightly warmer yet tomorrow as we get to 78 degrees, and we will see a little bit more in the way of cloud cover and that slight chance of a shower as we hit the 4 p.m. hour. And again, that's mainly going to be north of Detroit, possibly within the city, but not much further south than that. Temperatures staying in the upper 70s all the way through Sunday. And then as we get into next week, there's not a whole lot of change. We dip a little bit there Monday and Tuesday, but start recovering to the mid and upper 70s. And look at how much sunshine we've got, even around those chances of showers and storms for the next 7 days. So all in all, not too bad for our first week in June, Karen.
No complaints. All right, thank you, Ben. We've got trending stories coming up next as actress Jennifer Garner takes to social media to criticize People magazine over its latest cover story. Up first, you're not seeing things. You are looking at a man wearing spaghetti strainer on his head. Yes, for his driver's license photo. We'll tell you what this is all about coming up next. In today's trending stories, take a look. This driver's license is getting a lot of attention in Arizona and really throughout the country. Sean Corbett says he's taking a stand for religious freedom. He posed for his driver's license with a pasta strainer on his head. He says it's a symbol of the Church of Flying Spaghetti Monster. He convinced some state official to let him take the photo while wearing that strainer, but now the state is planning to revoke the card.
We were talking, I think there's some states that won't even let you smile.
Yeah, no, they're very strict. I'm really kind of surprised they let him put a strainer on his head.
Somebody may lose a job.
Yeah, perhaps. Okay, it's not often a celebrity takes a swipe at People magazine, but actress Jennifer Garner wants you to know she had nothing to do with the latest issue. She's on the cover with the headline, "Life After Heartbreak," for an article detailing her split from husband Ben Affleck. She posted a Facebook message saying in part, quote, "I did not pose for this cover. I did not participate in or authorize this article. I have 3 wonderful kids and my family is complete." For the record, a People spokesperson says the story on Garner is fair and truthful. Okay, Oreo lovers, listen up. You may like this story. A popular 90s breakfast cereal that has been absent from American store shelves for 10 years is making a comeback. Post Consumer Brands says Oreo O's are returning starting this month. For those who've never had Oreo O's, they're little crunchy O's combined with Oreo cookie bits in a cream coating. Oreo O's were sold in the U.S. from 1998 to 2007. Since then, fans have been getting their hands on boxes via pricey eBay auctions and also all the way from South Korea, where a version of this cereal is still sold.
Wait, so that was out for 9 years and I've never heard of it?
I know, and I'm kind of surprised because I'm like a huge Oreo fan, but not for breakfast. I don't know.
No, I don't, yeah.
Up first, we're celebrating Oscar the Grouch with some trivia you might not know about this longtime resident of Sesame Street. We'll be right back.
A pizza to